Hey, natural born sisters. Welcome to another episode of Kinky in the Kitchen, where every swirl, curl, coil, and wave is celebrated. You'll hear inspiring stories from women who have left straight hair, wigs, and weaves behind, despite the discrimination and bias, to reclaim their power by rocking their natural hair. Be it spiraled, kinky, defined, or straight. Whether you're already a natural sister or still finding the courage to unleash your beautiful coils, you're not alone, and you're in the right place. Let's get to know your host. She's passionate about inspiring Black women to rock their natural hair with confidence, teaching our Black natural hair-wearing women how to show up despite hair discrimination and biases. She's natural like you and rocks her kinks in the kitchen loud and proud. She's Lisa E., aka Natural Born Sister.
What's up, Natural Born Sisters? It's your girl Lisa E., aka Natural Born Sister, aka Living My Best Life. Welcome to the Kinky in the Kitchen podcast, the show that highlights Black women who are rocking their natural hair with confidence despite discrimination and bias. Last week we had natural born sister Miss Taylor Brianna, and sis, she does not play when it comes to her hair. She's smart, witty, and beautiful, but please do not touch her hair. In that episode, we had a little of everything. We had a ton of vulnerability, a sprinkle of spice, and a little bit of everything else. She talked about how she wasn't supported with her natural hair, her diagnosis with alopecia, and her experience with scalp injections. She protects her energy by wrapping her hair, but lets it out when she doesn't care. I will never forget her story. But our next guest would admit to having the support she needed when it came to transitioning to her natural tresses. She is talking about the big chop, society's awareness for length and growing big hair, which was a positive for her, but negative to those who were biased to her beginning stages of new hair growth because it was short. TWA, as she describes it. Teeny Weeny Afro, or TWA for short, was a very popular term back in the days to describe young women who were wearing very short hair, as if it was annoying to others, but it's not popular to wear that style. She is sharing the knowledge she learned about her hair and how to test it, so that she can know what products she can use on her hair. So I'm just going to let her tell it. Let's get ready for Natural Born Sister, Miss Naturel Brown. What's up, Naturel? How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. What about yourself?
I'm doing good. I want to thank you and welcome you for coming to the podcast. I know we're going to get some great stuff out of you because, of course, we had a little conversation and I got to know you a little bit. So I know it's going to be some good stuff you're going to share with the audience.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm glad you're here. So let's go ahead and get right into it because I want to make sure we have enough time to get everything. So the first thing I want to ask you, when did you start your natural hair transition? First, I want to know how long you were natural. And when did you start it? Well, I guess if you tell me when you started, of course, that's how long. But I want you to actually say it so that everybody doesn't have to go on their fingers and count. So first question is, how long have you had your natural hair?
I've been natural for 8 years now.
Okay, good. Like me.
Yes. Okay. So yes, it's definitely been a journey. I started when I was 18. And I'm 26 today. So it was definitely really difficult when I started because I didn't know anything about the natural hair journey at all. I kind of just went out on a whim. My mom had been perming my hair since I was in first grade. I thought the only socially acceptable thing was to have straight hair. That's what I saw on TV all the time. That's what was glorified. But when I turned 18, I actually got with someone that saw me do a perm in front of him for the first time, and I cried my eyes out. Like my scalp was just burning. I had scabs after scabs in my head, and he saw like the process of it, and he was just like, "Why are you loving your own hair? Why are you going through this process every month or 2 months to have straight hair? Like, what's the point?" And it really just made me question some things.
Okay, that makes sense. That was very bold information that person would give you. Very interesting. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, how did you wear it before you cut your hair? Did you say if
So
it was permed or?
yes, it was permed at that point. So that was the last time when he saw me go ahead and go through all the chemical burns and the tears. That was the last time that I actually had permed my hair. So what I did, because I was terrified to go through this whole process in the first place. I mean, um, I have had friends in the past that didn't really know that it was much of an insult, but they would tell me, every time I got a perm, your hair looks so good, girl. I don't know what your hair would look like if you didn't do this. I would wear like weaves, like with a little bit of leave out and everything. So like cutting all my hair off at that point in time was just not an option. I didn't feel comfortable with that. So what I did was a slow transition.
Okay.
So what I just stopped perming my hair altogether, and I just kind of basically first I kept it with weaves, which was really difficult because once my hair started to grow out the perm, I mean, those curls started to come in, and I was still heat damaging my hair.
Okay.
So I was still trying to match up my hair with, a Brazilian weave when continually, I mean, like every day, maybe even twice a day, just straighten my hair, and that just was not working at all.
Okay.
So I went ahead and started doing a little bit of research on YouTube and trying to figure out like some type of protective styles that I can do. So I started off with Bantu knots. That was interesting because, like I said, with a slow transition, once that perm started to grow out, my hair was just like three different textures. So I had the straight hair, a little bit of the kinky curl, then I had the loose curl. So it was a roller coaster.
Wow. Sound like it was. But you got through it, girl. So I'm
Oh
glad
yes,
you did. So
at
what I
all.
want to know now, like, how is your style game? Like, are you nice with styling your hair? Or are you just still trying to get the hang of it? Because you said it's been a year. So I know for me, it's hard. It's still hard for me. And like I always tell people, when I first went natural, I always kept it braided and then I kept wigs on top of it because I didn't really know what to do with it. And combing it
Mhm.
always gave me a headache. So I
Mhm.
felt like every time I combed it, I had to take something to kind of be comfortable. I'm like, it's got to be better than this. I never really knew how to style it until I actually was introduced to a hairstylist who was very good with natural hair. She made my hair soft, and then every time now I comb it, now I know what to do with it. It's amazing to me now. But I wish I had known that before. But
Right.
it's better late than never, right?
Mhm. Yes, that's the truth. For me, like right now, I did actually go through the big chop. I did that about 4 months ago. So, and that was really honestly once I got so comfortable with my hair and figure out what to do. Like I said, the first year was really really difficult, and then I just got into the mode where I'll continually just went out and I'll look for advice. I mean, I would see women just that I worked with, and I saw their natural hair, and I'll just ask advice. I just try to be open. So, what my favorite thing to do? Bantu knots wasn't the best for me, uh, but I did the double strand twist
Okay.
and with flexi rods, and then that definitely helped mix in those the three textures that I had for a while, where it's just
Mm-hmm.
going ahead and go to the scalp with the double strand twist, and then at the end, so it still would curl up the same way that I had the double strand twist in the from the scalp. I would go ahead and put those flex rods around it, so then I could play with that. Make sure that my hair is moisturized, put some oil on my hair. Once I went ahead and started doing the double string twist, I fell in love with that. And then that's when I went ahead and started playing with just wearing my hair up in like just like a big top fro. And what I would do is I actually had like a shoelace, and I would go ahead and start from the back of the hair, tie it in the front, and that's where I had my cute high puffs. I got to the point where I just got into this routine where I would go ahead and wash my hair about every 2 weeks so I didn't dry my hair out.
Okay.
Um, I have very low prosperity hair, uh, so it's really hard to lock in that moisture for me. So when I did go ahead and do those two strand twist outs, it would really, really lock in everything that I needed. It goes to the point where my hair is such a low prosperity is that prosperity, excuse me, that I have to when I'm washing my hair, and I'm actually trying to have that water soak into my hair. I have to actually squeeze it into my hair.
Okay.
So, and it's an extra step, but it definitely helps. Just with even using a towel on my hair, I don't like doing that. I would prefer just to go ahead and use a t-shirt, just because my hair is just so sensitive. I go to the floors for Ethan, like I use silk pillows to sleep on, and I don't like it if my scarf is going to fall out, and if my scarf falls off, then boom, my hair is dry again. So just to prevent that, because I do usually wear a scarf and I have those silk pillows. So it took a while before I kind of figured out what I could do. But when I went ahead and chopped all my hair off 4 months ago, chopped it down to about like 2 inches. That's when things got a little bit different for me, when I'm still honestly trying to figure out what styles that I like to do, what styles don't work for me. Right now, actually, I did a quick weave, which I was terrified about. That's what I have in my hair currently right now.
Okay.
So the quick weave that I have in right now, I just wanted to kind of do something different, because with the TWA styling, just a little bit harder. I can't do like the double strand twist that I used to do. Like I said, I'm really not comfortable with the pinch knots in my hair, really.
Girl, hold on, girl. You did not say
yeah.
TWA.
Yeah,
Say that.
also, yes. You know, I'm WA.
Oh man! For those who don't know, TWA, teeny weeny afro.
I love my TWA. So I have this little quick weave. In the quick weave, I was really nervous because, with your quick weave, you have glue.
Right.
So the last thing I want to do is cut off all my hair and then damage my hair again. So for what I did, I went ahead and put like 2 caps on my head, and I have like a protective seal that's over it that I put all over my head, put myself underneath the dryer, and then I went ahead and proceeded to go ahead and put my tracks onto that cap. And I have a closure as well, so I don't have any leave out, any straighten area. I mean, it's not much to straight with my little TWA right now anyways. But it's just like a nice little fun hairstyle, just to have a protective style where I don't have to worry about it. I made sure I oiled it. I deconditioned it beforehand because I know I'm not going to be touching it for about 2 weeks. And I'm just going through a trials and tribulations, I guess.
That sounds like a plan. Let me ask you, what type of weave hair do you use?
I have the Melt. I bought that actually at my local beauty store. I live over in the Bryant area in Arkansas, and it's this area. It does not have a lot of black hair source at all.
Okay. So what is the texture of the hair that you use for weave? Is it like natural, like kinky?
Wave. No, it's a body wave. So it's completely.
Oh, it's a body wave. Okay. I got you. And I understand, like, as you're talking, I'm thinking about me, how I am. Like when I was transitioning, how I said I didn't want to, not that only that I did not know how to comb it and it was uncomfortable, I didn't want to transition with short hair. So I needed to give my hair a chance to grow so that I'm comfortable with it. See, because society places that on us as well. Not only the fact that they want everybody to have straight hair, but the fact that you have to have a certain length. So we're not comfortable with the short lengths. And once we do have short lengths, we don't want to expose it. We want to expose it when we have some kind of length where we can kind of do different styles and feel comfortable about it. And it's a shame though that we had to go through all of that. I mean, like, it was so hard for us to be us because of what society made us to be.
Exactly. I completely feel that. Like when, like I said, I started my natural hair journey when I was 18. About 4 months ago is when I went ahead and did that big top. Now, once it got to the point where my hair was so big, I got so much positivity about my hair.
Okay.
I had so many people like, oh, can I just touch your hair? It's just so full. How did you get your hair to grow? It was nice. It was really, really nice. But at the same time, back in my head, I was like, I've gotten to the point where I've gotten to grow. I've learned a little bit more about my hair, but I really want to understand my hair. So I started off with 3 different textures of my hair. By the time that I just slowly transitioned where my hair was nice and full and luxurious, like it was 2. So I was like, maybe it's something, like I'm still doing something wrong. But when I cut all my hair off, no, I just actually really do have 2 different textures of hair. When I cut all my hair off, the reaction was not the same.
Well, let me. I just want to interject for a minute because you said you had 3 textures and went down to 2. How did you know what textures you have? Like, and tell me, how did you know that? And also tell me what texture that you are now.
Well, right now my textures, I have a tight kink for majority of all of my hair except for the front parts. It's more of like it's still kinks, don't get me wrong, but it's more of like a looser kink. Now before it was those little straight straggly kind of like ends. That's what that third texture was. That was that perm dying off.
Okay.
But right now with when I cut all my hair off, no, I just have 2 different textures of hair, and I think that has to just go with what I mixed with deeper down into my family line. So yeah, it's very different. And I've went to multiple hairdressers too, where they finally have accepted that no, you're not doing anything wrong. It's just that's just how your hair is. Now a lot of people deal with that, and they don't even realize that they have 2 different textures, and they think that they're still doing something wrong. No, I mean sometimes it's just your genes. You can't really change that. Now, when I did cut my hair off, like I said, I was used to people praising my hair so much because it was big, I had a nice little fro. But when I cut it off, I mean, I came into work and I was honestly, I was nervous. But before I did this quick weave, I didn't want to really do anything with my hair, as in like any big hairstyles. I wanted to more so embrace that I just cut all my hair off. I wanted to embrace that and be strong about this because this is supposed to be a new journey in my life. I walked into work and I mean, I had some people just stared at me. I had to, why would you do that? Like, it took you so long to grow your, why would you, because I want to.
Right. That's
and
right.
My hair is beautiful, even if it isn't, longer, if it's not huge. I mean, it's my hair. I can do what I want to with it. So it is sad that a lot of, like, our society just really, really kind of judges you on the length of your hair, especially as a Black woman, if you are natural.
Yes. Totally agree with that. I wanted to go back to something you mentioned earlier. You were talking about that your hair was low prosperity or something like that.
Yeah.
Can you explain to my audience what that means and how can you tell?
Okay, so I'm a YouTube junkie. So the way that I found this out was there's a couple YouTubers that I found, and you can actually pluck out a piece of your hair and just put it in water and see how your hair reacts to it. Does it sink to the bottom? Does it float to the top? That's kind of like how it's going to tell you, like, how your hair, like, reacts to actually it's soaked in just moisture in general.
So say if my hair soaked to the bottom, does that mean when I wash my hair, it holds a lot of water?
Yeah. Yeah. So with mine, when I pluck mine out, it's just floating on the top.
Okay, so mine's would go to the bottom. So what does that mean for me? I'm what? High prosperity? How do you say it?
I'm sorry.
How do you say the word? Prosperity?
I'm going to look stupid, so I'm going to go ahead and look exactly how you say the word.
Because I've heard this word before, and I'm still clueless on how it works. I've had a kind of an idea, but I'm still not sure. So it's prosperity. So I might have high prosperity hair.
It's porosity, using the way that you actually say it. I do apologize about that.
That's okay. Or is it porosity? Porosity, girl. I'm saying prosperity. What the heck does prosperity?
No, I said it too. That's totally my ignorance right there. I said, and I was like, hold on. Let me go ahead.
We caught that. It's porosity, y'all. Porosity. Oh my God.
Yes.
And I'm sitting here saying, I heard that word before. Of course I did. It's a real word.
Oh Lord, I'm so sorry.
That was funny.
But
Okay.
so yes, low is gonna be right at that top. Normal is gonna be right in like that middle kind of stage where your hair is gonna be floating in the middle, sinks kind of slowly, and then high is it just sinks right down to the bottom.
So is there one better than the other? What should it be?
Well, I mean, it just, in my opinion, it just depends on how you deal with it. I
Okay.
mean, it's not really like a bad, it's not really a bad issue. Just you got to figure out how to take care of your own hair. So
Okay.
with me, because I have a lot of porosity hair, I still can't say the word, Lord. Since it's low, I just have to do a little bit more on hydration for my hair. I can't do the same regimen that someone that has high porosity hair.
Yeah. Okay. I'm getting more educated on this every time I do a podcast. So,
I'm still just learning it. It's honestly, like I said, I'm learning more honestly with having my little teeny weeny afro than I did with the slow transition. And my hair is healthy.
Nice. So, girl, when I get off the phone, I'm going to do it, right?
Yeah, it's worth it.
I'm going to cut my hair and I'm going to throw that sucker in some water. Now I'm really curious. Now that I have more intel on it, I know what to do now. So, okay.
Yes.
Thanks for sharing that. That was good. That was a good piece right there.
No problem.
Now, I've never asked anyone these questions. Normally, these questions are basic to everyone, on the same podcast, but I want to try something new. So,
okay.
Depending on how you answer this, it depends on if we continue or not. So, I want to know if you have a significant other.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Were you with him when you did the big chop?
Yes.
Okay, so
he actually encouraged me to do it.
I want to know what that was like after you did it. Was there a conversation about it before or after? Like, what was his feeling about it?
Before and after, he was more for it than I was. Like, which is weird. Well, in my opinion, from what I dealt with, I guess I can say I felt weird about it because I expected a different reaction. A lot of the men that I've been with before was, like, your hair's so pretty, don't touch it, et cetera, et cetera. Now, when I first got with him, probably about a couple of months in, I told him, I was like, now that I've been through this journey, I kind of want to figure out what it's like to have, like, short hair and kind of start over and just really, really learn my hair. And from day one, he said, then do it. You're still going to be beautiful. Yeah. So I was definitely blessed that he had that reaction because I was scared when I talked to him about it. And it took me several months and so I wanted to do it. But there was one day about 4 months ago, I guess, I was just washing my hair out and I had done some little feed-in braids. Mm-hmm. And I was just looking at my hair and I was like, my hair, I just feel like if I was just to start over and not saying a slow transition is bad because it's really not. It's just I don't think that I learned about my hair like I should have properly. I don't feel like I was really, really getting the point that to make my hair grow like I want to, I have to cleanse my scalp. I need to really, really get in there. And I just need to learn more. So but you know what, today's today. I'm just gonna cut it off. And if I cry, I cry. If I hate it, then oh well, then I'll figure it out. I went to the hair salon and he came with me, really supportive. And I kind of was like in shock once she started cutting my hair. She asked me, she was like, you just want 2 inches off, right? I was like, no, I want to cut like just 2 inches. Like I want 2 inches left on my head. That's it. She's like, sure. I was like, yeah, I'm ready to do this. So he's standing there and I'm just watching my hair just fall off and I'm like, man, like years and years, like, yeah, just like growing my hair out and it's just gone. Like,
Were you almost in tears or what was your feeling during that time?
I thought I was gonna cry, but I didn't. I think I felt like I was just in shock. Mm-hmm. Now, a couple hours later, I kept on repeating myself, and I was like, y'all, I cut my hair off. I cut my hair off. I was calling my friends. I was like, why did you let me cut my hair off? Like, at first, like, I kind of, like, regretted it. But then, at the end of the night, I'm like, even though I do love my hair, it's just hair. And if you actually take care of your hair, it'll grow back. It's going to be a learning process. So I kind of got over it after a little bit, after being in shock. And he was really supportive about it. And he told me that he loved it, and it showed off my face a little bit more. So, I mean, that's why I love that man now.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing. Oh, that's a nice story. I'm glad it was a good story.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask a question about, I always ask these types of questions when it comes to like discrimination or any type of bias. I wanted to know, have you ever experienced any type of racial discrimination or bias when it comes to your natural hair?
Oh, absolutely. Every day almost. Like I said, with living where I do live at, it's honestly predominantly white. And we have literally one black hair store that just opened up just a little while ago. Usually, if a black hair store is even built around here, it doesn't really stay open for very long because they just don't get the business that they need. Now, like I said, when I had my big afro, I actually got a lot of respect. There was a lot of people that loved me, like, from opposite color. Like, they loved it. Now, once I cut off my hair, I got the opposite response, which was very odd. Now, I had a lot of the women, I will say, like, white people that were outside of my skin color were very accepted of my hair choice that I did. But a lot of the white males, like, it kind of not really giving me, and I'm a bartender, so I interact with people all day.
Okay.
All day. So, you know, I just could definitely tell a difference with a lot of, like, white males that were around me that just didn't really, like, want to talk to me or interact with me. I had whispers that were kind of obvious, like, why did she decide to do that? I even had someone come up to me and was like, you know, like, it took several years for you to grow out your hair like this, and you just did that to yourself. I don't understand. It's not for you to understand.
Right. Exactly.
It's not for you at all. And I wanted to cut my hair off. And that's about it. Now, from saying that, I tell you that I had this quick weave in, and as soon as I put this weave in, then it was like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. And I mean, I did nothing different. I didn't have any makeup on, no lashes on, nothing. Just did this little quick weave. You look so pretty today. Oh my, what did you do different?
You see, it's this length of hair that, like, it's been, you know, on us for all of these years. Like, what is the big deal about length? It doesn't make you as a person. And this is what they make it feel like.
Absolutely. And like I said, with me living in a predominantly white, like, city, you can definitely see that. And like I said, when I came to work with my little quick weave, it was just like, oh my God, you're so beautiful now. But also, yesterday you barely even said hey to me. Now it's
right.
You're a top model. Like, that's not right. That's not right at all.
Wow. I tell you, I guess I'm not surprised that, you know, because even, you know, when I was telling you before, this is what's more acceptable to them. And they probably don't even know why, you know. It's just I really don't get it.
It's our society. Like, I mean, I don't think, and a lot of these people that has done this, I don't think they mean any harm. I just think that this is what we're used to seeing, that if, you know, the length of your hair really is supposed to establish who you are as a woman, and that's not fair.
It's not. It really is not. Wow. So I wanted to ask you, kind of piggybacking off of the discrimination, has there anything that you ever seen in the media or social media that has ever struck a nerve with you when it comes to, like, racial hair discrimination, or you haven't run across anything like that?
I think I've seen this, like, more so on social media than anything that do with, like, hair. And like I said, it doesn't make me so upset. It doesn't upset me, but it's kind of annoying. Where, I mean, especially like on TikTok, because, you know, TikTok is definitely boomed up in the last like couple of years. So I've gotten on that train, and there's a lot of people that aren't of color that, you know, do like box braids.
Right.
And with getting box braids, most of the women, I won't say all of them at all, because I'm not racist, but a lot of these women that are not of color that put these braids in their hair, it seems like it's an altered kind of personality that automatically comes with it. What like a black is supposed to look like. That, oh, okay, I got these braids, so now I can act like this. And I don't care if, you know, if a white woman does decide to get box braids, okay. I don't really think it's, you know, healthy for your hair. But it does irritate me with that, with the stereotype that now that you have a black hairstyle, that now how you speak is differently too, and that's kind of annoying. I think that's one thing. And then also with dreads too, especially with black men with dreads, it's like automatically kind of a judgment on their personality, especially with black men, in my opinion. Assuming how they're going to act, and because of their dreads, oh, okay, they have dreads. And like I said, I live in a predominantly white area. I have heard a lot of, like, especially white women that will just say, oh my God, he has dreads. I wonder what he could do to me, blah, blah, blah. Like, you don't know that man at all. You can't just attach a personality to somebody because of their hair type.
Right. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Well, you covered a lot. So since you have covered a lot, I want to know one thing. Is there anything that you may have missed that you would like to share with us? Something that maybe I didn't ask you and didn't come out and you want to talk about it? Is there anything you can think of that? I just want to make sure you get it all out, girl. I do.
Yeah. It's a hard journey. It definitely is a hard journey, but it's worth it. I loved every step, even the hard steps, and trying to figure out what I liked, what I didn't like. But if you're just now starting out, don't quit. Don't go back to the creamy crack. It's not worth it.
That's right. That's right. That creamy crack was addictive back then, but now we're living in a different world. But those are some great tips that you've given just now, some great inspiration. I hope everybody leans onto it. I wanted to ask you, did you have any children?
I don't have any children right now. No, I don't.
Okay.
I do plan on the future having some kiddos.
Nice.
But right now, I'm just trying to focus on myself. I'm trying to get back into writing right now.
Okay.
So, but in the future, hopefully soon.
Okay. So since you do want kids, I'm going to ask you this question anyway. If you had a girl, what would natural hair, how important would natural hair be for your daughter? Because like I always say when I talk to other people, had we came into this life like this, like, so for me, I don't know how far back it goes for you as far, but for me, growing up, I always had to have my hair pressed, and I had jerry curls, and I had perms. So I never grew up as a natural girl. So if I grew up as a natural girl, I probably would have been in a better position of knowing my hair, learning my hair, even know how to do my hair. So I wanted to know, if you had a daughter, would you just bring her straight into the natural journey from the start?
Oh, absolutely, no question about it. I mean, like I said, like, in my opinion, with loving your natural hair, it's a part of you. So I feel like it's very empowering as a woman to love who you are. So yeah, I don't care if you cried like for months about me not putting the perm in her hair. Well, you're gonna have to get over it, because you're gonna thank me later.
I think that's awesome that you'll do that. I just wish we all had the experience, but I understand why. So we just start from now, and I just pray that all our Black women who rocking theirs have their kids rock theirs as well. Don't allow society to let you think because kids in their class are wearing straight hair that you should have your child wear straight hair. No,
Let's start it now. You know what I mean? Start it from scratch. This way they don't have the problems we do as we came in and having to transition and all that good stuff. So, so I'm glad to hear you say that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Natural. Well, thank you so much for sharing all those good nuggets. I really appreciate having you on the show. You have a great story. I mean, from the big job all the way down to the transition and going through racial discrimination. I mean, it's just a lot that you've been through, but you just sound like you toughened it out and still strong, girl. So thank you for joining us, and you have a great one. Thank you for having me. Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, sis, when you have the support of someone through your transition to natural, especially your man, it's everything. And there's nothing there that can stop you. Naturel had it going on when it came to the support. She had the ability to learn from YouTube videos and the tenacity to see it through. She's a natural hair spirit and she continues to thrive. The versatility that she implemented to get her through it also made her survive the journey of transitioning to natural hair. Follow her on Facebook at Naturel Brown. Her information will be in the show notes below the podcast. Please comment and share. And oh yeah, don't forget to order your tea that Naturel represents. She's rocking the Pro Fro. Check for that link in the show notes. And don't forget to check us out every Wednesday when we drop a cast. Deuces.
That's all for today. What feelings are you left with? Do you have questions, thoughts? DM on IG at Natural Born Sister and let's talk about it. Oh, and don't forget to leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. They really help us grow and reach more women who need company on their hair journey. We'll chat it up next week.